Okay, welcome to this week's Conversations with Marléne and Pascale. This week we are having a think about the importance of growing and learning. So before we get into it, let me just introduce myself. My name is Pascale Lane. I'm a relationship and confidence coach, and I work with women to help them heal into the life they deserve with more happiness, confidence, and success. And Marléne?
Hi, I'm Marléne Rose Shaw. I'm a therapist and a coach and a self-help author, and I help people with confidence, relationships. I work with couples and individuals, and I'm all about learning to step into your own life, live life on your own terms, and be able to set great boundaries, stop people pleasing, and all the good stuff.
All the good stuff. And that's kind of what we're talking about today, isn't it, really? The importance of, the importance of learning about ourselves. I mean, I talk about relationships. We both talk about relationships with partners, relationship with children, relationships with health and money and, lifestyle. But actually, all of that is dependent on the relationship that you have with yourself. That's the most important relationship of all. When you've got that, then everything else kind of falls into place.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that it's a big part of learning and growing and evolving as a person is, life is all relationships, whether it's, like you say, with your partner, your friends, your colleagues, your family members, the things you do in life. We have a relationship with everything. And I think when we're in the middle of that, we're here and all these relationships all around, we are part of the relationship with everything else and everybody else. So it's about getting to know ourselves really well that matters, because when we know ourselves really well, we can navigate, we can work out where we're standing in relationship to all these other people and these other things in our lives, and what we want and what works for us, and what doesn't work so well for us.
Yeah, absolutely. It's we are the common denominator, which is wonderful, but is also very tricky, because we can. So sometimes it's about what we're doing. I always think, like exactly as you've described it, it's like the eco map, isn't it? We're in the middle, and then you've got all of the bits coming off, and sometimes that's about how we behave, how we respond, how we do all of the things. But it's also about, within that, it's also about what we attract and what we are bringing more of into our life as well. And that obviously all starts with how we are showing up actually for ourselves, as well as how we are showing up for everyone and everything else. And that's why the work that we do is so important. I mean, that's why we do what we do. That's why we love what we do. That is the heart of where it's all at.
I think, I don't know if you feel the same. I suspect you do. I'll ask you. For me, there's something about, we live in an evolving universe, and we're part of our evolving universe. And as energy beings, which we are, I often say to my clients, rub your hands together. Feel that energy. That's you. As part of that evolving universe, we can't help but want to be evolving too. And I think that's part of the buzz. I think that's a big part of the buzz of the work that we do. It is, for me, is helping people to evolve from where they were to where they want to be, and actually to become wiser, to become happier. Because as we evolve and we get that wisdom, we are happier. And I think life is about that. It's about evolving, and it's about love and happiness. And as we learn and we grow, we become wiser, we become more caring, we become more understanding, we become more accepting, we see the much bigger picture of life, we step out of the box and we see life from a much broader perspective. And that enables us to have much better relationships and to be happier and to have a better life. So that, for me, that transformation is in my work is all about helping people on that journey. And it's an ongoing journey, it never ends.
Yeah, absolutely.
But for me, it's part. I feel like I'm part of the universe when I do my work, because I'm helping that expansion happen. It's actually half the time I'm not really doing it. There's something guiding me when I'm working with clients that just tells me where to take them or how to be with them, or thoughts pop into my head about them that they may not have shared with me, but I have a knowing, and that's if it's going to be helpful for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that intuitive bit is really important, actually. Really, I love how much my intuition has grown over the years helping. I work predominantly with women, but really being able to, like you say, you get an inkling, you get a feeling. There's something else that's going on, and when you kind of tap into that, it takes you down a completely different, it opens the door for a completely different pathway. I'm doing that with a lady at the moment, where we set out these goals, or she set out her goals at the beginning, and those goals are still there, but actually all of the work that we have done has been kind of way over here. And that was the necessary work to do. Like, that was the absolutely essential work to do, and it's been so unbelievably rewarding to be able to help her heal all of that stuff, which will then obviously have a knock-on effect to the original stuff that she came in with. But yeah, I mean, it's just, it's just fantastic. It's just fantastic.
Yeah, what is that? I mean, I know I just said it's about being part of our universe and expanding, but that sounds kind of abstract in a way when I say it, but in a way it's not. It's very tangible and very real, because I want to say, well, what is that? I mean, why would we bother? Why would we get so excited about helping people expand? Why would we do that? But for me, it's a real strong, powerful thing. It's like feeds me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, it's energy. It's energy.
It's energy.
I had friends visiting last week, and we were talking about our daughters. So we've both got two daughters similar ages, and we were talking about how different each of our girls are from each other. And she's got one that is much more kind of logical and kind of straight line thinking, and another one that's more kind of like sporty and a bit more creative and what have you. And we were talking about it and saying, we can't have a world like we need all of it. We need both. We can't have a world made up of logical geniuses. Like, we absolutely need the logical geniuses. Like, we absolutely need the IT people and the straight thinkers. But we can't have a world that's made up of just that. We've got to have the creatives. We've got to have the arties. We've got to have the and everything else in between. And we fall into the category of healers. We fall into the category of empaths. And not everybody has that. Like, I think, I can remember talking to one of my coaches about it, and it's just like some of the stuff that I do and I say in my work, as you will do exactly the same, Marléne. We just kind of like, for us, it's kind of like almost kind of like pointing out the obvious. It's like it's so like, oh well, that's probably that. Have you ever thought about it like that? And then you see them like kind of sit back and like, wow, I'd never thought of it like that before. And you're like, oh right, okay, that's just kind of like an ABC to me. But actually it's not an ABC. That's a gift that we have been given, like backed up by kind of academic learning, but we do the academic learning also because we have the gift and the intuition in the first place. So it all comes together beautifully, but very naturally as well, for us to be able to do that, I think.
Yeah. I can't imagine doing anything else. I really can't imagine doing anything else at all in my life. But I'm wondering, you know, it's so easy for us to sit here having this conversation about, you know, expansion and learning and growing and the importance of it, but because we're seeing it through that lens. I mean, certainly, you know, in terms of having a gift, there are things that I just can't do, you know, and I look at other people and I think, how can you do that? I can't do it. So we're all different with our own gifts, aren't we? But I kind of think, well, is it that important to learn and grow and evolve and expand for everybody? Or are we just on this sort of, you know, transformation superhighway?
I think it's important for everybody to learn and grow, but I don't think everyone necessarily sees the importance of it. I think everybody, I haven't met a person yet that wouldn't benefit from going deeper and understanding themselves, understanding their behaviors, understanding their responses. Like I haven't met a person yet that wouldn't benefit, but that doesn't mean to say that everybody is open to it. And I think some people are quite happy to just stay in their lane. And you know, in a way, it kind of lends itself. It's not the same thing, but it kind of lends itself to the kind of fixed and growth mindset. You know, some people are quite happy to just stay where they are and never expand and never grow, and that's fine. You know, I always say it's called a comfort zone for good reason. It's called a comfort zone because it's comfortable. Like that's not. I'm not being clever with that. That's why it's called the comfort zone. To want to expand and grow and step out of your comfort zone takes a different kind of person, I think. And I don't think that means to say that like you can or you can't, but one has to be willing to do the work in order to do that. And I just don't think it's on everybody's radar. And that's not a criticism, but it's an observation.
I always say we stay in our comfort zone until it becomes so uncomfortable that it's not our comfort zone anymore. It's actually easier for us to come out of the comfort zone than stay where we are. That's the, you know, the option, the other option, the scary, risky come out of comfort zone thing actually becomes the easier option at some point. And that's when we make the move and make the change, or, you know, but we can stay in our comfort zone for a long, long, long time without doing anything about something, can't we? But I think maybe there's something about, you know, talking about this learning and growing and expansion, the way I was describing it earlier was, you know, and you were describing it with our therapist hat on, you know, and it's quite a spirit, almost like a spiritual, modern day spiritual way of talking about it, which is kind of almost like a quantum point of view, isn't it? An energy point of view. But then there's the other end of it, you know, there's the learning and growing from the perspective for example, people watching this who maybe don't relate to the universe and all that. They just want to, you know, have a better job or have a better relationship or something, or it's something more practical. They want to learn how to do something. But from that point of view as well, learning and growing and evolving ourselves is always a good idea, isn't it? So even if it's just go to uni or go to college and learn something so that you can get a promotion, you know, it's always, learning and growing is always going to be a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And just to kind of like backtrack a little bit, like I don't think doing the inner work, doing the inner healing, I don't think that necessarily means aligning with the stars and the universe and kind of getting on board with the law of attraction. It does for us because that's what we're really interested, that's what really lights us up. And that's also kind of like the world and the community that we live with. But I can remember I did a post about healing and the law of attraction and kind of manifesting, which is something that you and I both, you know, are equally passionate about. And I can remember somebody commented on my post saying, you really undermine this wasn't what he said, but like paraphrasing, you really undermine your authority as a therapist by talking about the law of attraction. My advice is that you don't do it. Well, I mean, so many levels of rage came up into that. First of all, like, wow, unsolicited advice from somebody that I don't even know. And this was like a complete random stranger. I was absolutely livid. But also, like, you don't have to, like Freud and Jung and all of the rest of those like fabulous founders, they didn't talk about manifesting. They didn't talk about, you know, quantum leaps and all of the stuff that we know and talk about now today. It doesn't make the work any less important or validating. But it is, you know, I think there again, if we are going to be talking about energy and we're talking about energetics and healing, we attract people to us that are interested in that.
Yeah.
Maybe to a lesser or greater degree, it doesn't really matter, but are open to it because that is what we talk about. So I talk a lot about self-worth. I talk, you know, the overwhelming majority of my work is self-worth, self-confidence, which all stems from our early years experiences, even though it can change. Our life events and circumstances can change that and alter that. Actually, the foundation on which all of that is built on is our early years experiences. And so whatever else comes after that is the core healing part for me, and then everything else follows on that trajectory.
I think, you know, that it's so true, because whether you're, you know, whatever lens you're looking at learning and growing, it all comes down to doing that work on yourself, doesn't it? Because, you know, I used the example just now. I said, well, maybe somebody might not be looking at this sort of woo side of things. They might be saying, well, I just want to learn and grow and, you know, get a better job. But I'm too scared to ask for a promotion, or I don't know how to study, or I'm, you know, because they've got blocks because of stuff that happened in their childhood that's, you know, taken away their self-esteem. So, you know, this is why therapy is so helpful, because it helps us to clear the blocks, do the healing, as you call it, and then look at what we want and actually find the confidence to go and get that. And to actually say, this is me, I'm showing up in the world, I've got this absolutely awesome life and I want to make the most of it and actually properly live it and do the things that I know I can do. Well, some part of me tells me I can do, but there's another part of me that says, no, you can't. And it's getting rid of the no, you can't. That's what therapy does. It gets rid of the no, you can't, and it sorts out why the no, you can't is there and heals it and lets it go and on its merry way, and embraces this wonderful new future, new you.
Yeah. And you know, even one step further with that, you know, you do a lot of couple work. It's also about, and you know, we both talk a lot about boundaries and people pleasing and self-care, which is what boundaries and people pleasing kind of, to me anyway, falls under that. But you know, it's also about how are you showing up in your relationships? What are the boundaries that you're putting in your relationships? What are you allowing into your relationship? And how, because there again, you know, I don't work with couples in the same way that you do, but I also know that how we are in our relationship, whether that's, you know, I'm talking for at the moment about our intimate, our partner relationships, that also affects everything that we do. You know, when I'm going through a rocky patch with my husband, that has an enormous impact on how I do everything else as well. And, you know, when I'm working with my clients, I won't necessarily, I mean, I will sometimes see them together. I mean, I wouldn't ever exclude that. But actually, more often than not, helping them in how they show up in their relationship is often enough. Helping them to set boundaries about what they are worth, what they deserve, what they want more of, what they want less of, how to communicate better, how to understand the patterns that are repeating, breaking cycles, you know, all of the stuff that I know you do as well is all really important for actually, you know, when we can do one thing in one part of our life, we can do that in other parts of our lives as well. If we help our couples to communicate, we help our women, in my case, to couples in your case, to communicate with each other better, then lo and behold, they're going to communicate better with their children, with their loved ones, with their colleagues, with their bosses, with, you know, like, they will be able to manage difficult situations better and be more in touch with their own emotions and be able to speak up for themselves better in all areas of their life. So naturally, everything else benefits.
So it's a ripple effect, isn't it? It's you know, so it's a ripple effect, and so we come back to this learning and growing. There's never a reason not to, really, is there? Unless you want to coast for a little while and then, you know, go on to the next bit. But yeah, I think there's never a reason not to be passionate about learning and growing and evolving as a person in whatever way.
Absolutely. Okay, so on that then, how can people get in touch with us, Marléne?
Well, we'll put it in the comment below the video so that people can just click through, DM us, or click through and see our websites and take it from there. And we both offer free sessions, don't we? A free initial consultation session.
Yeah.
So you can have a chat, we can get to know each other, make sure we're a good fit, and easy peasy.
Easy peasy, absolutely. So yeah, so I'll put we'll put all the links below, and all of the information is there, and then yeah, make contact and let us know. And you've got a couple of ways of working with clients. You've got a couple of options available, or what options have you got?
I work online mostly, or I work face to face, depending on location.
Okay, fantastic, brilliant. Okay, and that's it. Okay, so fantastic, and same for me as well. I work online. I don't work face to face, and but send me a DM if you've got any questions, or book a call, and I'll put all the information below. And don't forget to like and subscribe our YouTube channel if you want to watch any of our previous sessions, or if you want to get notified about any of the ones coming up. Fantastic. All right, my lovely. Always a pleasure.
So bye-bye for now.
And see you soon. Thank you, Marléne. Take care. Bye.